Hey, witches!
Hi, hello, and welcome back to The Hero of Ages, Book 3 out of apparently 7 of the Mistborn series. But there are 3 core books. We're on the last of the core books, so
Yes.
if you want to read more, by all means.
And a lot happens in these first little bit of this book.
Honestly, I would like to say that the prologue really, really sucked me in. And then chapter 1 was completely different, but then that kind of sucked me in. I was like, well, now what's going to happen with that?
Yeah.
And then you just filter through everything, and I'm like, I still haven't got my answer on this one.
I literally, for the prologue, just wrote, what the fuck?
I know, I was like,
Because the prologue is just Marsh trying to kill himself.
And not only that, but like, we learned that whatever was released, it calls themselves or itself ruin.
Yes.
And we also learned how Inquisitors are made.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
apparently it's a lot of blood metal work.
Yeah, and
it's weird how it's described.
It really is. But the ruin, for lack of a better term, is controlling the Steel Inquisitors, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Which makes me even more certain that we were correct about who God is for Zane.
Yeah, because of that spike.
Yeah. And they call it hemalurgy.
Yeah.
Is the blood arts.
How they make it is so weird. Because his prisoner was a keeper of Terrace, a man who had worked his entire life for the good of others. And he kind of has like this back and forth with, I guess, Ruin. And Ruin finally gets a hold of Marsh. And Marsh smiled as the prisoner began to cry. Then he stepped forward, raising the spike in his hand. He placed it against the whimpering man's chest. The spike would need to pierce the man's body, passing through the heart, then be driven into the body of the Inquisitor tied below. Hemalurgy was a messy art. So you make Inquisitors with victims and other Inquisitors.
Yeah, that's what it...
So, how?
I don't know. I don't understand, really, because that's really all we get.
Yeah, and then at the end of it, it's back to the actual book.
Mm-hmm.
With part 1, Legacy of the Survivor. But see, like, that right there, the concept of that's how you make Inquisitors, I wanted to know more.
That's
I knew
fair.
I wasn't going to get it, but I still read it.
I feel like we will eventually.
Yeah, at the very end, in the last 100 pages.
Probably. But, listen, we'll get there. So yeah, Legacy of the Survivor is part 1. And right away we meet some new characters. And I was just sure this character has a very unfortunate name. And I was just sure that his name was Faterin. I was like, it's gotta be Faterin. Like, that we wouldn't do that to this man. His name's gotta be Faterin. No. It's Fatrin.
Oh, and it's Fatrin?
Nickname is Fats. Fats.
Did you listen to the audiobook?
No.
I want to hear it so bad now.
When I realized that his nickname was Fats, I was like, oh, well, his name must be Fatrin, not Faterin. Plus, like, looking at the rules of the English language, there's 2 consonants in between the vowels, so it should be short vowels.
I'm
But
not gonna lie, I didn't read it as Fatrin. I named it as Fatrin.
well, I was like, it's either Fatrin or Fatrin. Those were the only options in my head, or Fatrin. But like, still, Fat. His name is Fat, but that has nothing to do with his character. So this is like a little mini city of ska that have
Yeah, he
taken
was like
over.
a ska worker.
Yeah, and they've taken over like a plantation, basically, for lack of a better word, like a little village, created their own little village. And Fats is their like little leader. And there's a why can I not speak in fluent sentences today? Oh my goodness. There is a army of Colossus on their way to this little city.
Which it
And
really threw me off. I was like, well, hold up. Why is this even happening?
yeah, I was like, why are we introducing brand new characters in book 3? Like, where are our people?
Yeah. And I was also just really confused about like why the Colossus were attacking, because I'm sitting here like, excuse me, shouldn't this be I don't know, under control by Vin per the last episode or per the last book? But I also found out that it's been at least a year. So
yes, it's been about a year, and we don't find out yet, but all of a sudden they come to this little, I don't know, a messenger comes to him and is like, there is someone coming. It's like a scout or something. And I was immediately like, it's Elend. Because they're on a horse and they're traveling alone. And then at some point they say you can see his uniform of brilliant white. So he leaps from his horse, shoots straight upward as if propelled from beneath, cloak whipping free as he soared. Underneath it, he wore a uniform of brilliant white. And I was like, oh yeah, it is Elend. And he just like shows up and is like, hey y'all, I'm the Emperor. We're getting ready to fight these here claws and everything's gonna be fine.
and he's just so nonchalant about it. And what's really sad is that you could see the difference between now and a year ago and how Elend's nature and appearance has changed. And I like this new Elend. I like the old Elend, but I feel like this Elend is like daddy age. Like last year we were dealing with a 20-year-old. This right here is a seasoned 35-year-old warrior.
The only thing I don't like about it is that the situation that he is in is forcing him to not be himself. Like he's being forced to come in and take control and be the emperor and be kind of a tyrant at first, because he basically tells this village, like, you can either do what I say and tell your men to do what I say, or I can force you to do what I say. Like, you don't really have a choice here. And that's not Elend. And we kind of see his inner monologue or inner thoughts, and he's like, this isn't me. This isn't what I want to be doing. So I don't like that, but I do agree that he has learned his lessons from Tindwyl very well, and he is putting those lessons to great use. He is being assertive and the king that she trained him to be.
And here's the thing, I get it. He's upset with like the way he's doing things, like taking over everybody. But I don't know if it's going to be in this episode, but I know there's a conversation where he talks about like why do I have to do this this way or something like that. And it's honestly really sad because I think if I was in that situation, I definitely would sit here and say, this is how I'm going to do it. Like, I would do it very Ellen-like. I would do this. I would do it. Like, I would voice how I would do things or whatever. But then when it comes down to it, in practice, that's not always the case. And I think Home Dog has learned a very, very hard lesson in politics that you just can't schmooze the theories.
Yeah.
There are
and you
theories
can't
that work,
expect everyone to do the right thing.
And with and he also has to give himself some type of like leash to go from, because he has single-handedly tried to change an entire empire after 1,000 years of the same exact like tomfoolery.
Yep.
Even if that was his only change into like the entire place, he's got like the deepness coming out, like the mist, the various deaths, the like conquerors from outside of Luthadel sort of thing. It's not forever.
Right.
It's a temporary thing.
Yeah.
That you have to fix
things...
or like work through as the empire changes.
Yeah. And then he can start implementing his more democratic ideals.
Yeah.
And as we continue, so like the blurbs in this book, just the first 6 chapters, the blurbs are blurbing, okay? We basically learned that like I know we already kind of were learning this at the end of the last book, that Rashik wasn't actually, he didn't go in with the bad intentions that he turned into. And as we read these blurbs, we learn even more, like, he, with this power, he could move the planets in the sky. So he moved the Earth, or whatever, I'm assuming we're on Earth, right? Closer to the sun to try to like burn the mists off, basically.
And got too close.
Yeah, that was too close. So then he created the ash falls to protect.
Block.
Yeah. So people didn't like burn up from the sun. So like some of the bad
then it
things
leads to the vegetation.
Yeah. So like some of the bad things that he's done has really been him trying to fix things. Now, don't get me wrong, there's still the slavery, and I can't help you with that. There is no redeeming that. That's shitty.
And the single-handedly annihilating his entire like race.
Yeah, the genocide,
or like the culture of his race.
The genocide, the slavery, all of that, not excusable. But some
and
of
that's the thing. He
other
hated
stuff.
that.
Yeah,
he hated the like stereotypical things that became terrorist culture, and it's like you changed the fucking position of the world,
right?
And like your planet is that much closer to the sun, and you fucking struggle with crops and like starvation and things you're literally trying to fucking change. You didn't think that maybe, I don't know, spitballing here, changing the culture was probably a lot better than slaving them all and like forcing them?
Right.
No.
He went to slavery. But yeah, the blurbs in this book, like now that we have more information, the blurbs actually make sense. And I'm just like, holy shit. It's like reading a short story or like a novella in addition to the book.
And it's really nice too, because like we see the true side of Rashik after the power.
Yeah.
Like we hear that he is like a conqueror of this, and he enslaved the whole thing. Like he's got a bad name, all of that. But then when you think about it, it's like he was literally, any single thing that he did was trying to rectify what he had done.
Yeah.
Like he's just like, oh shit, I tried to burn the mist away to like take care of the problem. Can't do that now.
Yeah, now I got to make the ash fall so the sun
Yeah, it's
doesn't
like, oh
burn all the people
shit,
up.
like the plants are different. I gotta remake my people. They
Yeah.
can't survive in this. And so, like,
Yeah, because
the
he even
madness,
changes like the fabric of the people at some
yeah, so that
point.
they could survive in more ash
Yes.
related things. And it's like that type of power probably is what led him to start the genocide or to start that, because like maybe he got so mad, not necessarily like angry, more like frustrated, like insane type of like realm. Because the power was so strong, he had the ability to do all of these things that maybe he just got literally so pissed off at his situation. He just jumped off the wrong end of
I
crazy.
mean, could be. That and
It's like, all
like
right, you're the problem, you're this, you're that.
well yeah, and that's probably where like the religion of the Lord Ruler came from too, because he could move the planets. He could
Hmm.
make the ash fall. He could do all of these things. He could hold back the deepness. Um
He was doing godlike things. So
yeah.
yeah.
So that's where that religion probably came from. And then I mean, as someone who is trying to control the population, of course you're going to lean into that. Like,
Oh yeah.
but yeah, so that's the blurb leading into chapter 2. And then with chapter 2, we're with Tensoon, which
This was kind of fucked up. I
it
mean,
was real fucked up. First of all,
I never thought I'd see Tensoon again. I thought like he just probably just like went off and killed himself.
nope. Nope. But we
So
do
like
learn what a
what a
Khandra.
reunion it was.
Yeah. And we learn what a Khandra looks like with no body or no body to take over.
Like, and
And it's
we
gross.
so yeah. So Tensoon was essentially kept in a tiny little box with like very small like holes in the top and in the bottom. And he has been like this for a year, cramped
Yeah.
up. He's been a blob of muscle. He like describes it as if he was a snail or like a slug. So like
Yeah.
that's what it looks like just sitting there, but like it's basically just muscle. And he's been like that for the whole year because he turned himself in after getting his master killed by defying the contract, all of that.
Right.
And he talks about the mist rates, and the way he talks about it is like they're Khandra, but they're separate from the like Khandra society, because
Yeah.
he described it as like an art piece. He said that the mist race live as if there's no worry, no concern, no nothing. They grab bones, they do this, they do that, they create their own look and their own sort of I don't want to say identity, but basically like their own identity. But they're called mist wraiths. And then the way he acted when he was given like a skull, because they planned to kill him. I mean,
Yeah.
they definitely didn't plan on getting him out. And
No, but part of their like society,
culture,
like
I
when
guess, yeah.
you're executing someone, you have to give them a chance to
Or
like
like refute
say
all the stuff that
something.
they yeah. And I think he basically like the frustration the pirates had with Elizabeth Swann when she yelled parlay. I feel
Yeah.
like I was getting that in
Judgment.
this. Yeah. So their parlay is judgment. And so he had quickly, as soon as he touched the skull, he quickly like formed a mouth, tongue, muscles, all of that, and it was like screaming judgment.
Yeah.
And it beat getting burnt up by acid,
Yeah.
which was the alternative. So it's either he lives in his thoughts alone forever, eternity, until God knows when, or he sits there and gets burnt to death like
Yeah, but
acid.
with that, like before he got the words out, they started throwing acid on him. So
Oh
like
yeah, like they
he was
weren't even
in
gonna
pain
give him.
too.
Yeah. So, and he's third generation Khandra, and the second generation have like a keen love for like the fifth generation. And so, like, you can see that the second generation can do all these things if they, like, actually tried. The fifth generation struggle just to do that, even with a lot of practice, because of how far removed they are. But he's third, so he can quickly do all of that with all of the time that he's spent out in the field. Yep. But he is essentially, like, owning up to his sins and do all of that. But we did kind of see how he started to, like, how, you know, that Condra eat the bones and, like, form muscle, do all of that, but, like, this is actually the first time we got to, like, work through it with him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's weird as fuck.
It is quite weird.
But it makes sense why you see mysteries just gathering random ass shit.
Yeah.
So, like,
so they can build some type of body.
Yeah. So that they can move, which makes me think they're actually just Condra.
Yeah.
The others.
I
don't know, but
yeah, then we go back to Elend and his new little army. And they have decided to go on the attack and go attack the Colossus instead of waiting for them to come to them.
I agree with this, though.
I do too.
I like, surprise of attack is always, like, my go-to. It doesn't work all the time, no, but I do it every time faithfully. In any game I play, that's what I do.
Well, and I crack up with this too because he promises that there are 2 armies on the way to help them defeat this army of Colossus. And I think that was in the first chapter. But either way, Elend says that. And then, so they go and they start the fight. They're waiting for the, those armies to come join them. And then all of a sudden, some little speck is, like, flying through the sky at them. And Fatrin's like, what is it? And Elend just smiles and says, the first of those armies I promised you. It's Vin. It's Vin, and the bad bitch that she is. She just falls out of the sky and starts fucking these Colossus up. And she's awesome.
She is. She's really fucking cool.
Well, okay, and they keep talking... Oh, go ahead.
No, you're fine.
I was going to say, they keep talking about someone who is controlling the Colossus, who is controlling the Colossus, who is controlling the Colossus. And I'm like, is it Ruin? And I wasn't wrong per se.
I was really confused. I was like, how the fuck is this happening? And I mean, I put that Ruin was well, I didn't put anything. I thought Ruin did it. Yeah. And I was like, dang, how can he have such a pull on these guys?
Well, and he kind of is the one doing it, but kind of not.
Yeah, like, he doesn't... I don't know if he has the power, per se, to actually take control of all of them. I think he's got the ability to make other people do it.
Exactly. And that's what he's doing.
I was just really confused. I was like, how is he doing this? Is there something within Kolos and Condra that this thing can speak to, like the Lord Ruler did with the Inquisitors because of all the metal in their body? And I was like, oh, this must be how you do it. Like, so I was like, is it this? Is it that? Is it him? Like, and then I was like, yo, what if it's Zane?
Also,
I was like, what if Zane's doing it? Yeah,
close though.
But I was like, that makes sense if Zane's the one doing it. I mean, he had that, like, stone in his body. Like, maybe it was him. No, it was an Inquisitor.
It was a Steel Inquisitor. And, like, I was really confused by some of this. So, wait. No, that's right. They're trying to figure out, they've learned some about the Inquisitors. There are now additional spikes in the Inquisitors.
Like, 2 within, like, each side of their rib cage.
And they're all of different metals. So they're trying to figure out what exactly the point of this is. And that's why they're like going to these Colossus, well, that and to save people's lives, but they're going and taking these Colossus armies from the Inquisitors to lure the Inquisitors out so they can learn more about how they're able to do what they're doing and why.
Yeah, because if more Colos, whether or not they're alive or dead, like start vanishing from the control of the Inquisitor, then he's going to go out and investigate why. So they were murdering mass amounts of Colos and doing all of the worry, I guess, of are we gonna survive this? And then all of a sudden Vin comes in and was like, I'm gonna take control of this guy. So she like does the Duralium thing, gets control of the Inquisitor, or not the Inquisitor, the Colos, and then now all of a sudden you're just like, yep, here it comes. The Inquisitor pops out of nowhere.
Yep.
But it is what it is.
And between the two of them on pages 37 and 38, well, 37 and 38 of my version, they are like, it's the scene where she's fighting the Inquisitor, or he's fighting the Inquisitor, and she's like, I'm not going to get there in time. And the Inquisitor is fighting them with a spike like the Inquisitors have in them. And she's like, that's fucking weird.
Yeah, because he had dual axes.
Yeah. But he
and then
is going for
Ellen
Ellen
get them back
with this spike. So I feel like that's going to be significant at some point, but also, like just the badassness between the two of them. Like now that Ellen is Mistborn, she takes control of the Colossus army with the Duralumin and what's it called? And then Ellen does basically, or she
takes over and then she passes it to Ellen because Ellen can handle.
After
Ellen can handle a significant amount more of Colossus mines than she can.
Yes.
Which is why I wonder if that metal that Ellen
swallowed
is like the original first generation type of metal that provided these powers or whatever to these people. And then like Vin, for instance, is just kind of like third, fourth generation, like watered down sort of whatever. But regardless.
Yeah. But either way, I was like, I think I'm in love with both of them. Because like them fighting together. Like she takes control of a Colossus and uses it to kill the Inquisitor. And then Ellen takes over the rest of the army, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And just them fighting. And I say watching them fight because when I read, I see it in my head. But like watching them fight, I was just like, I think I'm in love with both of them. Like as a couple, I'm in love with them.
It was actually, it was well written. And it was really nice to see them both work together as a couple. And I think I like love it so much more because we witnessed Vin go through like her mental state of, am I worthy enough? I'm not worthy enough for an emperor or a king or anything like this. And then Ellen goes, she is such a badass. Yeah. I am a nothing. She is a queen that I should bow down to. Like, I cannot even be in the same room as her. Like,
yes,
they both were saying the same thing, but opposite. So now that they're equal, I think it's kind of heartwarming to see that they can actually like work together. Like, actually together instead of like separate tasks miles away.
Yep. And now there can't be any more because I don't believe that Zane is dead. So there can't be any more. He'll never understand you because, yeah, he will. Like he has the same powers now. So, suck off.
Did he grow up the same way? No, but he's still a Mistborn. He's a weapon just like me.
Yeah. He doesn't need me to be his sword because he's stronger than I am.
He is the sword. I am the hilt. I help guide him.
Right. Like, yeah.
I think it's also badass that they're both like, yeah, I'm the Empress. And he's like, I'm the emperor. We're here to see you.
Yeah.
We're gonna gently take over your country or your city, whether
you
you
don't
like
really
it or
have a
not.
choice. Yeah. This
Do
is
you want to
ours
die
now.
by the Koloss, or do you want us to save you? Because that's how it's gonna work.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's not actually a choice. We're gonna save you, whether you like it or not.
See, and I feel like he's taking his political theory and all of the working runnings of it with his friends back in the Lord Ruler Ball days. I feel like he's taking it too much to heart. He needs to like consider the world that he's in, and that like that theory was worked in a world that is not current, and that you need to like this is for the better of the people. They might not see it now, they might see me as a terrible person, but this is for the betterment of the final empire. So that's why he doesn't give him a choice.
Yep. He's like, after we get through this, then I'll come back and give you choices. But right now, you don't have a choice. This is what we're fucking doing.
Like, I'm either gonna die trying to save you, or you fight and let me just rule you, and I'll help fight even better.
Right. And then we go to chapter 4. In chapter 4, Sazed is spiraling. He is not living the good life, which is totally understandable. He's lost the love of his life. Like, he wasn't able to save her. And he always had faith. Like, he's always had faith, and he's always had that to lean on, and had hope and something to believe in. And he is really struggling with that. And so he's basically going through all of the religions that he has stored.
And finding flaws.
Yeah. Trying to, basically, it seems like trying to figure out which one is true. Because he wants to know what happened to Tindwell when she died, basically.
Yeah, he wants to know, like, where her soul or her body or whatever went off to. Kind of like a closure thing.
Yeah. And I feel like the old Sazed would know that probably each of these religions has a little bit of truth in it. Like,
yeah,
no one of them is going to be exactly right, most likely, because they're all human created. But there's probably a little bit of truth in each. But ironically, Breeze, of all people, is the one trying to like cheer him up.
Which is so funny because I feel like he has been such a cynical type person. Pessimistic, if you will. Like, not so much as clubs, but pretty damn close.
Yeah. But
he's more practical, I guess.
Yeah. But he's kind of talking. He starts talking about the grief with Sazed a little bit. Like, he's like, it still hurts, doesn't it? It will stop eventually. But then he's like, tell me, or you haven't tried to convert me in months. Tell me about one of the religions you have memorized. But Sazed is not feeling too great about religions right now. So he's like, no. And Breeze is like, come on. And he's like, no. But he's really like just having a shitty time. And they are at, is it King Lakal? So they're seeing King Lakal, which is Jace's father.
Uncle.
Relative.
Yeah, because it was a comment that was made. It was like, do you really think he's gonna hear what we have to say after we killed his nephew?
Yeah, well, you know.
It is what it is. Jace was stupid and went crazy. He needed it.
Yeah, and so they're there trying to get him to sign a treaty, basically. that he will help them, or basically sign fealty to Ellen, kind of like,
Yeah.
you can be the king of your little territory or whatever you want to call it, but you're under the empire of Ellen.
Yeah.
And
you're gonna like it.
Yeah, and they get him to sign the treaty. So that's another important part of that chapter. And that's really all that happens in that chapter. It's just Breeze and Sazed commiserating, and then we find out that the treaty was signed, and that's it.
It's just crazy that they're going through, or, well, Sazed's going through this, like, losing my religion sort of.
Mm-hmm. But honestly, I think that is like a common thing for people who are going through the stages of grief. Like, a lot of people who had faith in whichever religion have trouble keeping it after a traumatic loss.
Yeah. I think it's just a natural coping mechanism, or it's like one of the easiest to fall into.
Yeah.
So,
yep.
What happens when your entire world gets shaken to its core.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, you are right. It's Fatrin.
Yeah, I thought so.
I was like, damn. I just heard the narrator go, in Fatrin, and I was like, ew.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe it's got not necessarily maybe it's just a name that was common back in this time frame.
You know? Either way, I don't know if he's going to continue to be a big character. I don't feel like he is. I feel like that was just a setup for that battle with the Inquisitor.
Yeah.
But maybe.
I think
we'll see.
We might, like, hear about him in passing, but...
Yeah. And then we find out kind of one of the real reasons that they were headed there before they knew about the Colossus army. Wait. Or is that in the next chapter? Oh, no, it's this chapter. Okay. First they're talking about the Inquisitor, and like the Inquisitor moved super fucking fast. And they're talking about how it tried to use one of the spikes to kill Ellen. And then they're talking about how the Inquisitors have more spikes than they used to have, and they're different metals, and like what's the significance, and trying to figure some of that out. But there's a part where they're talking about the deepness or ruin, but they don't know it's called that yet. And Ellen says, Vin, we don't know if it's out there. The thing we saw a year ago at the well, perhaps it's gone. Perhaps it left now that it's free. Ellen, honey sweetie pie, that's foolishly optimistic, even for you. It's not gone. Like, why else would these Inquisitors be attacking? Like, why else would all of this be happening? It's not gone. It's just not.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
you might think it's the end of the world because the Lord Ruler died, but let me tell you.
Right. Then they're talking more about how he doesn't like to do things the way that they're doing them. And they go into the ministry building in this city. Because they're trying to find something. And Fatrin's like, we already searched that building. There's nothing there. And they're like, we're going to search it anyway.
Whether you like it or not.
Yeah. And they find a hidden trapdoor and head into the basement, where they find
a doomsday.
yeah, like a doomsday shelter with like stores of food and
And Ellen and Vin didn't necessarily say it's like the end of the world, but they do believe that the Lord Ruler knew something like this could happen, and what if it did happen and this had to be the next step. So like Lord Ruler literally left clues to every single storeroom, and they got progressively bigger as you went through. But they never found the adium, unfortunately.
Correct. And so Vin thinks that they're going to find the ATM at the last one of these storerooms. But also, we learn during this that there is a little, where's it at? A little part on this plaque from the Lord Ruler that says, only your thoughts are safe. So basically, they learn, and this is almost towards the end of the chapter, that the ruin or the deepness can hear everything that they say and read everything that they write, and only their thoughts are safe. And I'm like, okay, that's great.
How are they both going to be on the same page?
But right, like, how are they going to plan anything? Or, like, is there a way for them to communicate mind to mind? Like, the way that they control the Colossus and the Kandra? Like, can they speak into each other's minds that way?
So, that I have no idea. But I wonder, too, if, like, Vin will have to use some... I'm not saying it's ADM induced, but, like, some... like, get to the root of, like, a power, like, the almighty, most powerful version.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, maybe Vin has to, like, tap into her inner avatar to, like, beat the deepness.
Maybe. I don't know.
And it's not like that it's, like, metal related, but, like, the something along those lines, like, to outsmart it.
Could be.
Because obviously the plan, or the thoughts are your only thing. So what if you planned, I don't know, like, a fucking assault, like, at daybreak, but you're telling everybody that we're gonna do it at night because no one's gonna see it coming.
Right, kind of like a trick it kind of vibe.
Yeah, like a red herring. That's even if they find adium. Now, in a couple of chapters before, they have something called electrum, and
I forgot.
it's the poor man's adium. And let me tell you, we love a good great value.
We do. We love a good off brand or store brand. And basically, what it does is like counters the effects of ATM. So like,
yeah, it's like the opposite.
ATM not work.
Yeah, and it doesn't necessarily like speed you up or anything like that, but it makes them blind.
Yeah.
So. But I'm telling you, work Dollar Tree, getting yourself up in the world.
Mm-hmm.
The poor man's adium. Jesus Christ.
And then for chapter 6, we bounce back to Marsh.
Oh, he questioned if he was going mad in the very beginning, and like he needs to like break free of that. Bro, you are going mad. It doesn't. Right. You're going mad. Sir. You're not mad. You're not still fighting and still above everybody else. Like, no, you're there. You're in purgatory.
Yeah. Yes, it just sucks because he can still see and hear everything, but like he sees and hears everything through the ruin's eyes, so, or through the lens of the ruin, I guess, for lack of a better term. And because of that, all of these like horrible things seem beautiful to him.
It's like rose-colored glasses or rose-tinted glasses or something like that. Like you don't see the red flags until you take your glasses off and you're like, dang, I was rose-tinted. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's basically it. Like he's like, I'm too weak. I wish I could go mad so that I wouldn't have to deal with all of this. the other they don't talk. The Inquisitors don't talk to each other because Ruin controls all of them.
Mm-hmm.
And then he confirms also the new spikes jutting from their chests and back. And again says that he had placed many of the spikes, killing the terracemen that he had either been captured in the north or tracked down across the land. And he even has a new set of spikes.
And I think some of these terracemen that are getting like impaled, I think they are making like new Inquisitors, because I think he made a couple of like comments about the Inquisitor next to me walking has like all the beautiful like rings that you would see on a terraceman.
Mm-hmm.
And like the jewelry, the necklace or whatever, and I'm like, it's gotta be a terraceman, right? Like, ain't no fucking way an Inquisitor is coherent enough to be like, I'm a pretend like I'm a fucking terraceman today.
Well, and we know that they like track down the Synod, and
it could be one of them.
Yeah. So
I think what's like humbling in this, like, because like you want to hate Marsh, you want to fucking hate Marsh, because like we know from the first book, him and Kelsier were like two opposite sides of the same family tree, and like the things he did was more background work than like what Kelsier did. Kelsier was the face of the revolution, and Marsh was just kind of like the hidden person in the background. But like he's over here saying like he's had a whole year to figure out like how to get the courage to essentially kill himself. And then he talks about how like as soon as it feels you start tugging away, it grips you back. And then that's exactly what happened. And then he just like looks up at this ugly ass red ash environment and says, "What a beautiful world." And I'm like, Ruin is fucking insane.
Yes.
That you can just change an entire, I don't want to call them a population, but like there's a shit ton of them. So like the entire horde of Inquisitors, the fact that you're able to control them at the power that you have.
Yep.
Mm-mm. They up shit creek without a paddle. But I don't know. I guess we'll find out more in the next episode.
Yeah, we will.
All right. Well, that is the end of part 1. So until next time.
Bye.